Does the ghost of a World War I soldier by the name of Tom Chalkley haunt this abandoned graveyard in Northumberland? There's a local legend that links him to this place, and many people claim to have seen him. But tonight, we're going to do a full investigation.
This is Woodhorn, a small parish hamlet located between the towns of Ashington and Newbiggin on the Northumberland coast. This part of southeast Northumberland is a big industrial area, with coal mining playing a big part of the satellite towns in this area. That is Linemouth Power Station, which dominates the background today. The working class town of Ashington has produced many big sporting names, most notably the Charlton brothers and their cousin, Jackie Milburn, with a combined 5 FA Cup medals, 2 World Cup winner medals, 4 league titles and a European Cup medal as well. Also from the area are the Harmison Cricket brothers. With the Woodhorn coal mine now disused and turned into a museum and country park, Woodhorn is now a sleepy village with a small population. This is Woodhorn Church, formerly St Mary's Church of Woodhorn. It is believed that this is the oldest surviving church in the whole of Northumberland, built more than 1200 years ago, although parts were added in the 13th century and sections rebuilt in 1843. The church was made redundant in the early 1970s, although a modern cemetery was opened next door in 1995. This site has been up for sale for many years, and it's sad to think that one day this ancient little church and its graveyard could be lost forever to redevelopment. I, for one, am very against it. The graveyard here is very old, with the oldest eligible grave being dated as 1717, more than 300 years ago, belonging to that of Joseph Annett, aged just 4 years old, and his sister Sarah, aged 1. Dying just days of each other. There are mining disaster victims in here as well, as nearly 400 unmarked graves too. We even found a soldier in here from the Crimean War. There are 2 main ghosts said to be connected to this site, although one has multiple versions of the story. It involves a World War I soldier by the name of Tom Chalkley. Some sources say he died at the Battle of the Somme in 1916, while others claim he served in the Navy. The first to see his ghost was George Charlton.
George Charlton worked as a sexton here for the church during the First World War. One day he claimed he saw Tom, just here, in the graveyard. Didn't say anything to Tom, he looked busy. But later that day, he saw Tom's family and said, "Oh, I didn't realise Tom was back from the war." To which his family had replied, they just had a telegram earlier that day to say that Tom had died.
There is another version of the story. It claims that Tom's parents were at the graveyard one day and bumped into Tom. Tom did not speak, but instead displayed some injuries before vanishing. The following day, the family received the news via telegram that he had been killed. One source claims that Tom was laid to rest in the graveyard, and there have been at least 3 sightings of the ghost ever since. The legend of Tom is so famous it is featured in a number of publications, including in Rob Kirkup's book on ghostly Northumberland. Many people claim that it is not Tom who is said to haunt the graveyard. Many people claim to have seen a dark figure walking between the graves at night. I have spent hours searching the graveyard, but I've been unable to locate any grave with Tom Chalkley on it. But many soldiers' bodies were never recovered from the battlefields, so it's possible that he had no burial site. The second ghost is said to be that of a cyclist in the lane that runs outside Woodhorn Church. He is said to be wearing pitman's clothes, but has the face of a skeleton, appearing mainly after dusk. This fits with the pits of the area, and there were a number of fatalities in them over the years. However, whilst I'm up for investigating anything paranormal, I'm sceptical that it sounds a bit more like a legend. The road running nearby is often very busy with traffic, and is a major route between the towns of Ashington and Newbiggin. It's very difficult for a ghost to be seen here on a regular basis. Other sightings in the area have appeared online and are unverified. This internet user posted on a forum that his father saw a white mist coming from the graveyard and following his van whilst driving home in the early hours of the morning. It was time to begin. It's after midnight and the area is quiet. While some people don't like the idea of paranormal investigators going into graveyards, Woodhorn is permanently accessible, and out of respect, I have decided to stay on the public footpaths to avoid the possibility of walking across any graves. Okay guys, you join me just getting out of the car here at Woodhorn. Now we mentioned at the start there's that tail of the lane nearby. That's just there where the bike is supposed to be seen with the skeleton. We're now going in, might as well put night vision on. There we go. Let's go into this. So there's the lane there with the entrance to this graveyard. So let's go in. Now I'm going to use a torch just to see where we're going here. As we get into this beautiful old cemetery here in Northumberland. I'm going to start here at Woodhorn. This is the old entrance to the old church. Now can you imagine how many people got married here? How many people would have come here and walked out of this doorway as husband and wife, and maybe had their funerals here or got christened here. This church over 1200 years old. It's absolutely incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. Just looking out. It's a leaf rustling, just a leaf. It is, isn't it? Yeah. So we're here in Woodhorn. This is one of the most famous churches, one of the most famous graveyards in Northumberland. A lot of rustling. So the story goes that in this graveyard, George Charlton is said to have seen Tom Chalkley, and it was around about the same time as Tom was supposedly killed whilst serving abroad during World War One. Now, there's several ghost stories reported from this area. I'm going to turn this round. There are several ghost stories reported in this graveyard. Of course, Tom's is just one of them. The other one is, of course, the bike that is seen riding around on the lane, sort of beside us here. People have seen a mist in this graveyard following their vehicles. So we're going to get in here tonight. We're going to have a little look just to see what we can see in Woodhorn. Now, this is a place that hasn't really been investigated too much, so keeping an open mind. Animal noises. Keeping an open mind just to see what we get in this place. What are we gonna? It's a legend, you know. So many places have legends like this, and that's what we need to sort of try and find out. There's a road that goes past as well, so we're going to get a little bit of traffic noise, even though it is quite late at night. So let's get into this then. I'm not going to lie, I'm hearing all kinds of noises, like rustling sounds. Now I know what you're thinking, it's probably just leaves blowing in the wind. Fair enough. But I wasn't hearing those type of rustling noises earlier on when we came in here during the daytime. So, yeah, just keeping that in mind. Look at this. 2 flat gravestones beside each other. Now they would have been probably priests. Probably priests that would have been buried there. So yeah, definitely 2 flat gravestones and one up by the wall there as well. On this very old church. Again, more noises. It's got to be a little animal down there. It's got to be a little animal. That was me. As we walk around here, look at some of these gravestones. Very old. So I don't even know where. I mean, we're told that there's somewhere in the region of 400 unmarked graves in this graveyard. So we've had a look for Tom's. We can't see it anywhere. Like I say, it could be unmarked, but it's very unlikely that the Commonwealth would have let graves go unmarked. So I'm going to have a look at that in the future. Now, Tom's story is not too unusual. In my family, my grandmother was looking after a butcher shop in County Durham while my grandfather was away fighting during the Second World War. And she had an experience as well, and then found out the news that he'd been killed in France on D-Day. She saw a man walk into the shop after it was closed and was looking for him. Hearing all sorts of noises in here. But yeah, she got the telegram the next day to say that he'd been killed in France. These kind of things, premonitions, family members coming back, even when the past, it's not, you know, there's a lot of these stories that go around. So the story of Tom Chalkley in this graveyard is something that's not completely unknown in the paranormal world. Now I'm hearing noises all over the place. I'm putting it down to wildlife at the minute because we are at night, there's trees. I'm going to turn this camera around, let you guys have a look so you can see what I can see. Let's try and ask out, see if there's anybody in here. And like I say, we mean absolutely no disrespect to anyone. Hearing all sorts of noises though. I'm hearing noises in here. I'm hearing noises in here. It sounds like leaves, but there's no wind. Listen. There. It's got to be an animal or something. Is there any spirit in here? Any spirit at all in this graveyard that wants to make contact, or even just wants to let me know that they're here? Now I'm hearing all sorts. Sounded like it was just coming from down here, down by the side of the church. It's almost as if there's someone stood there. I'm just backing out of there. Is there someone standing around here? I'm surrounded by it. It seems to be every... I really hope you can hear all this, by the way. I'm going to shut up for a second. What the hell? There is no wind. Right, let's get out of here. Let's get the fucking hell out of here. Even noises. Just heard a bang. It's looked like those leaves were looking like something was pressed against them. Let us get out of here. Okay, back at the car. I didn't know what was going on there. I did not know what was going on there. It's not windy, and there was definitely sounded like footsteps right next to me. I don't know if you heard any of that. I don't know whether any of that came out on the microphone. I really hope it did, because what I heard, it sounded like there was someone standing, walking beside me. I saw one of the leaves move. It's not windy, there's no wind, and it sounded like there was rustling going along. I had the camera, had a torch with me, and there was no animals, there was no insects, no mice, anything like that moving around. As far as I'm aware, it was just me. So I'm not sure what that was all about as cars going past. Yeah, I'm not usually spooked out in places like that, but for some reason there was something in there. I saw one of the leaves, I don't know if it came out on camera, I'm going to have to look at this. I saw one of the leaves go down as if something was pressing down, something was stood on it. Yeah, not right at all. Not right at all. Should we go back in? So here we go again. We're going in this time. Woodhorn. Let's see what's in there. So this is where we got to earlier on. You can see the leaf that was crushed. So what really could be in this graveyard? We're talking about a ghost who has been seen during World War I. Was it a one-off appearance? Or does he stay here? That's the thing. That is the legend. So we've got an additional camera that we are able to use in here, which I've gone back to get.
It is the infamous night vision camera, heat thermal camera rather, which we have got access to, which I'm just going to load up and use in here tonight. There you can see it. So it's going to see if we can pick any heat sources out. And it's picking something up over there. So I am going to get this into record mode. So as you can see, if I just stand back, you can see where I've been stood. The footprints are there. Now it is picking up, I don't know if you can see that there, it's picking up some sort of heat sensor, heat source, 25 degrees. That would suggest possibly, you know, there is a field of horses we think over there, so it could be them. But at the minute it's not picking up anything that we could put down as being paranormal. We would expect paranormal, we would see things like heat spots, cold spots, just generally things like that. As we walk into the back of this beautiful graveyard here in Woodhorn. Something's over there. Something is over here. Is there anybody here? Make a noise if you're here. Thought I heard rustling sounds. We're getting the heat camera on it. We're not picking up anything. 24 degrees. But over there we are. See if we can zoom in on whatever it is over there. That's what is causing the heat source over there. You can see it. It's 25 degrees. Again, noises. Rustling noises. And again behind me. That sounded like running. And if that's a horse over there, the camera would pick it up. Is anybody here? Getting the heat source there. What is that? You can see on the camera. Something is there. Something is there. See, there's the building, which you would expect to be warm. What on earth is that? What on earth? is that. It's coming from here. Whatever is creating that, there's something, a temperature anomaly. Is it an animal? Where is it? It could be the path, actually. It could be the path. Because it looks like it's following the route of the path around. It could just be the path that's absorbed heat in the daytime. I don't know. But that looked very strange. Turn that off a minute and put the light back on. In fact, we've got a bit of light in my pocket which we can use for such events. If anybody is here, let me know. Make a noise. Are you Tom? Whoa. And it is not windy. It is not windy. You can see there's no wind and something just rustled. A leaf. And this is the same spot where it happened before. This is great, thank you. If this is you, do that again, please. You can see there is no wind, look. Make that noise again. Can you stand on this leaf? This leaf here. Please stand on it. If that is you making that. Look. No way. That leaf is moving. If that is you, thank you so much. That leaf moved. I've been seeing this. That's it. I've got to get out of here. Thank you. That was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. I hope that came out on camera. I hope that came out on camera. We've got to get out of here though, because that is starting to get a bit intense. I'm being followed. I'm being footsteps. I feel like I'm being followed out. I'm not sticking around. I'm not sticking around. It's time to go. It's time to go. Guys, wow. That was unbelievable. I'm back in the car. And again, in the exact same place. And it's not windy. You can see there was no wind in there at all. And when I asked if anyone was there, could they move a specific leaf, and the leaf started to move. And there's no wind. I can't explain it. The wind, the leaves moved. Can they uncoil?
I don't know. That was weird, and the heat thermal camera was picking something up. Possibly horses in the next field for what we first saw on the camera. We know that there are some horses in that field. That could explain the animal that it was being picked up on there. And then it picked up the ground getting warm, 24 degrees, which is quite warm given it's 1:15 in the morning. Sun set about 3.5 hours ago, so should the ground still be 24 degrees? Yeah. And it just seemed to warm up as well. It wasn't that temperature when we got there. That looked a bit strange. As if something was just... there was some energy there. I don't know. It's a strange place, that. Whether it's Tom's ghost haunting it, I don't know, because we've tried to find his grave, we can't find it. As for the bike with the skeleton that's meant to be seen going past here, that sounds like a legend. In fact, if I turn the camera around, you can see much. But there's the lane that goes past, and okay, now there's no cars going past, but earlier on it was just car after car, and apparently this thing's seen at dusk, which means that it must be seen by a lot of motorists, so I don't know about that one. But I did not feel alone in that graveyard just there. I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel that whatever was in there was threatening. I think it just, if there was something there, peaceful. I think if there is such thing as ghosts, I think they're the same as what they would have been in the physical life. Unless they were a really nasty person, they're not going to be a nasty ghost, are they? So I like to think it's just nice local people in there. But certainly, I felt footsteps. I felt like even when I was coming out, there was something behind me. I heard shuffling sounds in there. I've had a little listen back from the first venture in there, and I'm not sure if it's coming out on mic. I hope you guys get to hear it. When I'm here, I can hear everything, every little rustle, which obviously doesn't always get picked up on the mic, but yeah. Do I think it's haunted? There's a good shout for it. I'm not going to sit here and go, yeah. Yeah, you could obviously explain some of the things. The rustling could be a mouse or something that lives there. We didn't see any. I had a little walk around to see if something would run out. Nothing. But it's interesting.
Since filming, our historian Georgia has been looking into the case. The Commonwealth War Graves Commission honour the 1.7 million people who died from the Commonwealth during the First and Second World Wars. They said, "We have no records of a Tom or Thomas Chalkley, and the name does not appear on any rollers of honour." The Commonwealth War Graves Commission website also shows 2 unknown graves in Woodhorn, but there's no information on them, which may be because the bodies have been relocated. There's also the possibility that Tom's body was never recovered and could still be out there right now. Does this mean the story's not true? Georgia has also managed to trace another man called Tom Chalkley who did serve during the First World War. However, he did not die, and he lived until the 1960s, dying of an old man 6 miles away in Morpeth. Stories of wartime apparitions appearing at the same time as a death are not uncommon in Britain, but without solid evidence that this soldier even existed, it's hard to say. I certainly have had my own experiences
in that graveyard.
If you like the video, please hit the subscribe button and check out more of our content. But if you're into graveyards, check out when we visited Greyfriars, the most haunted graveyard in the UK. See you next time.